The Roman Republic will be reorganised into the First Roman Empire!
I hear this Count Daddies has proclaimed himself emperor and has reformed the Roman Republic into a Roman Empire. But what happens when the Celts strike back?
Don't blink.
Okay guys, so here is the third and final part in this little trilogy of vlogs I filmed at the end of August. Trying not to cover up the sign so it's there. But yes, this is the little visit to London town, specifically to meet a potential ally in this rising threat of the Count. As you've probably seen in the last episode, we discovered who had my time machine. It was Count, and he went full Roman. But then again, maybe I'll get some allies for my ultimate plan. Anyways, yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. On to the next part of the journey. I'm currently in West Hampstead. I'm on my way into London proper. I feel like I'm in London now, which I mean I hate it. But I'm looking for London Overground, which is now my next mission. Oh, I found it. That wasn't too bad. It's actually like a short distance like Tower Hill from Fenchurch. But yes, it's busy. I don't even know how much of this is audible. I'll see Boudicca's Revenge and see if I can see anything other stuff in London today. There's plenty of other stuff in London. It's all expensive though. I hate travelling in London. And it was in a bar in London that I found my first potential ally, Alexander the Great, also known as Alexander III, who was born in 356 BCE and is most famous for ending the Achaemenid Empire and forge an empire of his own that spanned all the way from Pella in ancient Greece to the Indus River in the Indian subcontinent. Bus. Hang on. I'm just filming the Berlin-y stuff. It looks like Berlin, but it's not Berlin. Done the talky bit yet, so I'm doing the talky bit now, randomly, while my friends are walking ahead of me. Anyways, I'm in London now. I've probably randomly put clips of London in. London's loud. Right, we're off to see Boudicca. And here, as we walk onto Westminster Bridge, we come across the Southbank Lion, whose story goes back to 1769, when the artificial stone manufacturer Daniel Pincott would join forces with the Georgian entrepreneur Eleanor Code. Together they would set up a ceramics factory in Lambeth to make decorative mouldings. However, this little joint venture would only last for a couple of years, as Code would eventually take over the whole firm. The ornaments that her firm would make would be twice-fired stone, which was called Lithodipra. It's more colloquially known as Code stone. This artificial stone was made from clay, quartz, flint and some soda-lime glass, which was then fired for several days. Now the company prospered as Code stone was lauded for amazing waterproof qualities and obviously the ease that it could be cast into various different shapes. However, Portland cement would eventually take over as the favoured material, and the company would stop trading in the early 1840s. However, the Code stone would be used for one last very large commission. James Golding, the owner of the Lion Brewery, would commission 2 large lions to put on top of his brewery to decorate it. The larger of the 2 lions would be painted red and put on top of the brewery and faced out towards the Thames. This became a landmark for the area because obviously you're going to notice the massive red lion. Some say that the red paint was actually added after the lion was removed from the brewery, but there is also reports that it was red when it was on top of the brewery. The brewery, however, would sadly be badly damaged in a fire in 1931, and after which would be used as a storehouse. However, the Lion still stood proud looking over the Thames, and even stood through World War II, with a common local saying becoming, "So long as the Lion stands, London will stand." And obviously, spoiler alert, both of them did. Throughout the Blitz, the Lion had become a symbol of hope for the people of London, so when the now derelict brewery was set to be demolished in 1949 for the Festival of Britain, King George VI himself would have to intervene to save the Lion, moving it to Waterloo Station, where it would stand proudly outside until 1966, when the station would be expanded and it would be moved to its current home at the Lambeth end of Westminster Bridge. And the importance of the Lion cannot be understated, as thousands of people petitioned the king to save him. But now we move from a symbol of hope for the City of London to a symbol of its destruction.
For the Americans in the audience, that tells the time. I love this chime just as I walked up. I really hope that you caught that on camera. Yeah, this is where they filmed 28 days later, yeah.
Now, you may have noticed I did like a 5-minute sequence on the Southbank Lion whilst glossing over the Palace of Westminster and only giving like a few little info dumps on Elizabeth Tower and Big Ben. And that's because they could be a vlog and a video on their own. And hopefully one day that will happen, as long as YouTube starts paying me. But to help me with that goal, I just need you to like, subscribe, share, and tap that bell icon to get notified whenever I upload.
Cheers. Boudicca in all her majesty. There she is, Boudicca's Rebellion. I'm going to see if I can go around the side and get a better picture where there's less crowds. So, this is the monument, which was actually a Victorian monument. This was built as Queen Victoria saw herself as the modern, well, didn't see herself as modern Boudicca, she was compared to her, because Boudicca, according to some sources, does mean Victoria. So, there was a commonality between the two. Obviously, Boudicca became, I'm definitely going to have to narrate this over when I get home, but Boudicca became seen as sort of a piece of British symbolism and resistance, which is ironic given it was built by an empire at the time. I would have loved to have known how Boudicca felt being the biggest hero of an empire that she probably would have resisted. But, and a fun fact and spicy comment, Boudicca wasn't an amazing military commander. She only had success when there was no soldiers to fight. And that's a spicy take for today. There is Mr. Churchill. There is Churchill. Hello, Mr. Churchill. Is that blurry? Probably.
So I did walk under the King Charles Arch. I just didn't film it. Because I'm an idiot. And here we have Horse Guards Parade, which is actually fairly close to 10 Downing Street, the Cabinet and the Privy Council offices. It's normally seen during Remembrance Day services, the Trooping of the Colour, and was notably utilised during the funeral of Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And on the far right of the screen you can see the Cadiz Memorial, which commemorates the raising of the Siege of Cadiz by the Duke of Wellington on the 22nd of July 1812. When the French withdrew, they destroyed their cannons on purpose, obviously to stop their enemy getting their hands on their tech. The Spanish restored at least one of these cannons and gave it to the Prince Regent, obviously to say thank you for having the siege lifted. It was then mounted onto a cast iron Chinese dragon, possibly by the carriage department. We don't know entirely how the British acquired the dragon. It might have been a gift. It might have been the other way the British Empire acquired things. Now, there is a lot more history to talk about in this scene, particularly the statues of the two field marshals protecting the entrance to the Household Cavalry Museum. You've also got the old Admiralty building right next to that. So, don't worry, this will be explored in more depth later on. And if you want that to happen, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and tap that bell icon to get notified whenever I upload. And this is the Guards Division according to the Imperial War Museum's War Memorials Register. It was unveiled on the 16th of October 1926. Behind the memorial sits St James's Park, which in the early 17th century King Charles I commissioned Inigo Jones to create a formal garden which would become known as St James's Fields, but would later be known as St James's Park, which you could probably guess from the fact it is currently called St James's Park. In 1635 the park would be opened to the public, and in 1660 the park would reach its current size of 23 hectares or 57 acres. And this is the National Victoria Memorial, created by the sculptor Thomas Brooke and the architect Aston Webb. The gilt bronze figure of Victory stands atop the marble structure, with bronze figures and reliefs surrounding it. Now, you're never going to believe this, but the National Victoria Memorial was commissioned to commemorate Queen Victoria. The first proposal for the memorial came just 2 weeks after Queen Victoria passed away in 1901. George V would inaugurate the memorial on the 16th of May 1911, with seating installed for 4,000 guests. And this was just the invited guests, as the general public gathered in their thousands in St James's Park along the Mall near Buckingham Gate. King George V would unveil the memorial using what at the time was considered a modern electric button, which he pressed and it revealed the statue. Technology, making people lazier and lazier. There's actually cars down there. Modernism. Good. Yeah, obviously, this city was originally, at the time of the Romans, burnt down by Boudicca. Obviously, Daedalus declared himself emperor after defeating the Celtic rebellion, so I decided to speak to the king about it. Sadly, he said no, he's busy. It's not a normal thing. I obviously have regular meetings with him, but today couldn't say hi. So, but I do have a plan to deal with the emperor. Yeah, this is Buckingham Palace. First time I'm here, amazingly. You'd think I'd be here more often. It's been a very good weekend, I've enjoyed this. The world-famous Ritz Hotel opened on the 25th of May 1906 and was created by the famous hotelier Caesar Ritz. Oh, thank you, Mr. Bus. Perfect timing. So allegedly, fun fact about Admiral Nelson, everyone says that he says, kiss me hardy, but there's a new idea that instead he said kismet, which is born of an Arabic word, which essentially means destiny.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I think both ideas are sweet. And that is that. That is the final part in this little trilogy of vlogs that I've done. Will there be more History Daddy vlogs? We'll see how this is received. We'll see how the future goes. I may not be able to dedicate as much time to YouTube as I have over the past year. But yeah,
I hope you enjoyed looking at some of the statues and the scenery from London. I hope you particularly enjoyed St Albans. That was a bit of a... I'm not much of a well-versed traveller, especially on my own, so that was an interesting experience. But yeah, don't forget to comment down below what you would like to see next, and also if I missed anything or if I got anything wrong. A special thank you to my patrons, especially the special mentions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and tap that bell icon to get notified whenever I upload. Also comment as well, because that'll boost me in the algorithm. Anyways, as always, I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
The device has been given to Ricimer. Brtyhonic is dead. Rome's fall is guaranteed.
Thank you. You weren't meant to hear that. You see, yes. I may have been on the side of the Celts for now, my ancestors. You see, time doesn't work the way humans believe it works. My master and I have planned this for millennia, ever since he was struck down before his time. I've always joked about restoring the Roman Empire, but I needed Count to alter time. You see, the timeline you got was never meant to be. Rome was never meant to falter in Germany. Germanicus was meant to rise as emperor. Of course, this would strengthen Rome, possibly allowing it into the modern day, but I needed to guarantee that gap. And when you alter the timelines with such hubris as the Count did, it sends ripples backwards as well, as there is no beginning, there is no end, there is no middle, there is only time, and we have had plenty of time. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't wish to reveal my plans too early. But, you see, this was never about restoring the Roman Empire. I'm such an evil genius. And, oh, Struth. Oh, what's that in my eye? Is that stone?